Hello, everyone. Hi, Katia. So good to see you here again. It just dawned on me I forgot to have open up your project that you sent in. Hi, Stephen. You did say, Katia, that you wanted us to look at your project, right? Or you were okay with that? Let me see if I can pull it back up again. Either you've been working on the round robin again. Hi, Sue. Just looking to pull up a couple. I just found what I wanted in my files. I'm going to pop out my chat. Don't do doilies. Well, I'm not turning mine into a doily, Sue. I'm. Oh, yours is in Inkscape. Whose do I have here? I guess I better go look at my. I think I closed my. I always think I'm organized before we start, and then I find out that I'm definitely not. I always think I'm organized before we start, and then I find out that I'm definitely not. You do dream catchers, yes. I'm actually going to do a mine in a photo. Not a photo, in a picture, as a picture. And I'm not going to keep it symmetrical. I'm going to make the, you do, well, I'm going to show you, I think, in a minute here. Let me see if my down camera is working. Dream catchers, yes. I'm actually going to do a mine in a photo. Not a photo, in a picture, as a picture. And I'm not going to keep it symmetrical. I need to get to make the I'm going to show you, I think, in a minute here. Let me see if my down camera's working. I'll show you what I'm doing right now. I'm actually going to do mine in a photo. I've only got the middle of mine done so far. I haven't started the second row, and as you can see, it's a mess. But I wanted to get the size of the ring from my sample. So now I'm going to do the rest. I'll show you what I'm doing right now. What time is it? It is 12, so I guess it's great time to start anyway. So I've only got the middle of mine done so far. I haven't started the second row. The voice is way behind. Uh-oh, I didn't turn my... But I wanted to get the size of the ring from my sample. So now I'm going to... Let me get my microphone turned off. Yep, I do. Sue, I forgot about that again. So now I'm going to go to my... I got to remember where I found my microphone. Oh, shoot, I'm looking under mouse instead of... Well, I turned my sound off on my computer. Are you still hearing me now? Hi, Teresa. I'm fine now. Great. All right. I have to say I'm never quite organized, but I think I'm much more disorganized today than I've been before. And I'm going to move my... Sue mentioned not being into doilies. And I'm going to show you here what I'm doing. Oh, I'm getting too many. What am I thinking? I've got my thing set up into 12s. Now I'm just going to, I don't think I have an eraser even in here. Let me grab mine. I don't even have my regular white erasers here. And this, I haven't gotten very far, as you can see. I'm just ready. I've just done the climb out of the split ring. And I didn't use a continuous thread to start with, so I've had some ends, and I'm going to be adding in this, I think it's vineyard, or vineyard, and it's the burgundy and greens and all. I'm not quite getting exact match at the same shade for my green because I wanted a brighter one. I think you can see in here it's more of what we'd call an olive green, but hopefully it's all going to blend in together. And I just wanted that here so I can get the size of my size 20 ring. But I forgot I have to put it, oops, I gotta grab my pencil again. Around it too. every other one. I'm going to turn this upright. As you can see, I'm not drawing very well, but oops, that one's got to go there. And then I know we've got that second round coming out with the 3 rings off it. What I'm going to do is there's an Algaiva Nichols that I know I've shown in class, and she has like a long, straight, tatted piece down the center. And then she's got another one wound around it. I want to do something like that for a stem coming out. And I want a flower. I am going to make the rows on this side to there shorter. So as I come around, they're going to make a small piece. But on this side, I'm going to start making my rows bigger. And eventually, I'd like to get a shape kind of like this kind of a shape, like a flower, shape downward from the stem. I was trying to get under my computer here. I could move my mouse over a little. So can you see what I'm doing? I want to do the pencil here. So I would actually have a stem coming out somewhere out here. And then my flower is going to be coming out something like this, if that makes sense to you. So it's not going to be a doily, and it's going to go on a fabric background or in a shadow box or something like that, because I just really want it to be that way. So you can really, you don't have to stick with a round doily or a hexagonal doily if you were going to make it go hexagonal like this. If I can get that really outlined here. I'm just going to scribble. But instead, I'm going like this. Don't know how big I'm going to make it, how many rows I'm going to have, but you know, these are going to be closer together here. These will be way far apart, whatever I do. Maybe a row in here somehow. You know, probably have one of these come up. I don't know. It's going to be a very, very big challenge. I've thought about that, Sue H, and you know, I haven't um, quite decided yet. Because really, for this challenge, you're on your own, except for adding in those lists. And one of those things are there's things with 5 picots and so many picots and things like that. Um, and we're going to look at some possibilities today. So that's my idea. And like I said, I don't know. I may start changing halfway around. I debated, but I'm kind of interested in seeing what I can do um, with it this way. What I may do at the end is go back and forth. Now let me get my green because I would be with just my green and add on some more green back here for the base of it coming down. Who knows, at this point, I may add a few leaves. And I want that stem to have another one wrapping around like the Algiva nickels. So this is how I start out planning. Very messy. People talk, say, well, I can't draw. Well, you know, you get an idea. And if you can look at it and see what you're planning, all it has to do is make sense to you. Hi, Bev. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you came in today. So, this is what I'm doing. Today, I want to look at, we're probably going to be doing a lot of looking at other things, and we're going to talk about Picots. Now, I did send you my list, and I also put it in. Let me go to, trying to move some things out of the way so I can go to my screen and get the one I want. Having trouble getting a couple of my things moved around here. So for any of you that are just watching later on the replay, and I did not get last week's replay up. I'm sorry, I'm running behind. Okay, I did in the Facebook group. In the file section, you'll see I added, oh, where are they? I thought I added files. Oh, here they are. Okay, I did one in a, yeah, you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay. I did one in a docx because if you want to be able to add some, type in anything on it, I want you to be able to see it. I mean, to be able to add things in because I guess I'm downloading it now. Give me a second here. This wasn't what I meant to do, but as I said, I'm not totally. All I've got is I made this up for class, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I really should send it out to you because you always want to know, you know, where all these things are located. And so I don't really, in order to know what you're going to be looking at, like Martha's Tatting, that's Martha S's blog. I've got Nanetta, oh, I can't remember what Shuttle Creations is, who. And so these are, and I'm going to start looking at them just down the line so you can keep up with me. For one thing, though, I don't see the tatting class here. Oh, here it is. I put it under chains, but we're going to look at a lot of the, let me show you what we're going to look at there. Okay, I'm not going to start with that one. That's not what I meant to start with today. All right, get that out of the way. Except now that I got it out of the way, I don't have what I want. All right, guys, sorry about this. Okay, I'm going to get rid of Facebook since I've already shown you that. Someplace I have a, oh, I know, I got to go back. I've got to go to just the online tatting class. Then I'm going to go to the patterns, and what we're going to be looking at are some of them out of the flowers and foliage. Because we can be looking at picots and things and talking about them and the different ways you can use picots. There are quite a few different kinds. Now, remember in this class, I'm not teaching you the techniques, um, but I do know that for the double and triple picots, there is, I think it's down, Mark's got one. This shows you how to do just the regular double and triple picot. Now I know that Tammy is going to, I'm not sure if it's going to be next time or not, she'll talk about making some of the different picots and the techniques part. There's also the Celtic picot, you can see right here, which is always a nice element to add in when to make your design more original. But what we're going to be looking at to start with, I think I'm going to put that down for a minute because I want to start with talking about picots, looking at some of Martha S.'s work. She even has a book. So I'm going to go to the very first link here. Yes, I want to continue. I don't know why I'm getting security notices, but I know I want to go to these sites. Okay, this is interesting, the way she has combined her picots with her and shaped her chains facing both directions around them. This is a really good way to add a unique row. And please do not just copy what she has. You know, she's got the chain which inverts and faces to the right and then goes back to facing outward. And then she's got the next, just a plain arc chain. And then she's made these different sizes. You can see the smaller one. I'm not sure if that one is bigger than the middle one or not. But think about, you could do something like this with on a longer chain, on a different shaped chain than hers. Um, and she's, you know, going chain every other one. That, as long as you don't have this base part the same and your chain looks different, you could do that. But think about skipping more, maybe skipping over. Um, go up farther, make it wider right here with your chain and maybe add a ring onto it. Because, you know, in the middle of our design, we've got rings. Now I know something similar, that this idea would work great for my right side of my flower. I think I have another one of hers someplace. And read about, because you're learning to design, she said, in which I contemplate tatting heresy. But read what she says about her process and even read what it says underneath. You're going to learn so much more doing that. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to get a new tab so I can put that down below because I want my everything to come up in here. Now let's go to the second one, Ninetta's. This is, some of you, I know it was done, I think Georgia did it in her classes, the tufted picot. Hat the tuft picot. Looks to me really fun. I have not tried it yet, But not only does she show it, she's got a video for it right here. And that's what I'm thinking you might want to on your list, like pop right in here and put down, you know, tufted Picot or tuft Picot or something. Although, you can easily see it. Video posted, tatting tuft Picot. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. Whoops. I want to go back to, oops, I don't need my class email. I'm going to close that totally down. Let me see. Nope, nobody else is. For document files, you want to add the Facebook group. May I suggest you save it as, open document and Linux users. Okay. And that still then opens in Word, or would I just make another file? I hope this coming week get my address on my website all switched to point to the right host, so I can at least get some pages up with these. Exactly, Stephen. The rough draft, just get an idea of what you think you want it to be. And, you know, people don't even like to send in that because they say, well, I can't draw. And I've always emphasized that. You don't have to. This is a rough sketch. And even experienced artists in any field or designers use rough drafts. I mean, still today, I know that that old cliche of drawing on an envelope or sketching on a napkin, if an idea comes while you're at dinner or something, that is still used, just to get your ideas down. Because if you're out and about, or if you're taking a walk in nature and you see something, which is one of the best ways to let your ideas flow, take a walk in nature. Most of us always have our phone. Take photos. Take photos. And if you have a notepad in your phone, just jot down a note. Or when you go out, take one of those tiny notebooks with you, or a tiny sketchbook or something. Use a fanny pack. Put those things in there so that when you see ideas, and that relaxing, for me, a lot in the shower is when I come up with ideas. Everything I've thought about, you know, will all of a sudden start associating itself. And it's when you're really, really relaxed. The same thing as right before you go to sleep at night. It's always good to keep a notepad, or, you know, fold up a piece of copy paper small, and then use, just open up a part of it to sketch if that's all you can take with you or all you have. Anything. Thank you, Katia. I don't know if I'll ever have enough followers to even make a little money for my time I put in, but who knows? Maybe I'll be lucky and it'll work. So, yes, thank you for reminding people to hit the like button. All right. I'm going to lose my place more today than probably I normally do, which is I'm too often too much. I'm going to put this down too. Get everything off my desktop that I don't need at the time. I'm going to just need this. And I'll need where they're coming up. They're not. Where did my other one go? Let me look for it here just a quick second. There we go. There's where I am. This off to the side more. Sorry about that. So that's one of the things I want you to think about as far as different kind of picots, and she shows you how to do it. The next one I want to pull up is Shuttle Creations. This is the dot Picot. This is Usha's designs. Now, this was done in a class for Georgia, and I will be getting a page, the information and the HTML, a document made for that Picot and Tammy will put it up on the website. So you will be getting that. But this is where you can go to see it. And I don't know how big I can get this, but you know what? Let me get my little other, oops, not that one. I have too many folders too. Quite sure I have it in here that we can look at it big. Yeah, here it is. Because this is the one that will go up on for you to see on the online tatting classes website. Right here, these little three, and there's actually five, one there too. Those are dot picots, and all they are on a chain is you're going to take your shuttle and make a one double stitch ring and close it up, and you get these little dots. And each one in itself can be, you know, um, not look exactly like you'd see a tatted ring being because they're dots. They're almost like they have the look of just a knot. And that's fine because your overall look looks great. I don't know what anybody, if you were putting something in to be judged, what they would think of it. A lot of the judges aren't up on the newest techniques that people are using. I'm not sure this is brand new, but that's something I would have to research into. I know I've done some rings with two double stitches, and I'm going to be using it. I think I can get a nice corner out of that. But I need to do a little more experimenting with it. But these, they make it denser, they give it texture because they are a little rougher than a regular ring. So they really give you texture and a fun look. And let me show you another one. Put that one down. She's also, and you can see she's got them all in here. Let's see if I can just get that up a little. I guess I can't get it to go up any. Nope, it's going backwards. Anyway, you can look closer at these yourself. The other one I'm going to pull up is she's used them just in one in the corner of a chain and gives you a corner. And so there's another, think about using it to alter the shape of your chains and for decoration. Just experiment with them. This would go in your chain notebook, which at this point, I really should go back to that. I know I have homework in a file that I want to find. I don't know if I did put it on this one, in this one. I don't think I did. I'm going to go into my email and, well, no, I'll show you that another time. Let's just keep going here. Let's go down to the next one. This is one on Pinterest. This is another one of hers. This is an up close look at hers. And look how using it in the center of a chain, how it shapes it. If you had one here and one over here, matching one, you'd get a little different kind of a dome shape. If your chains were shorter, they'd be straighter. Or put in some balanced double stitches someplace to keep your chain straight. Also, if you look, she's got 3 dots in a row right there. Now, I don't know, I haven't done her patterns, and I don't know if this is a pattern she sells. Maybe she might. How she's got them inside of this chain, a string of them. Oh, I bet she just did dot picot, dot picot, dot picot, as if it was and back down, so that then she could just join to it. But anyway, ideas for different things to make your tatting more unique, more original, more yours. I don't know if there's anything down here that, oh, we could go look at muskins too. She's got zigzag chains used in this, and they're called Naughty Creations. Let's see, I don't here. It's down here under Wiggles. Central Picot, zigzagger S chain, picot join to the right, folded join. But look how she's used this. Go down there, join, go back up and come around. And by hooking these two together, she's got, kind of rounded corners, but we still think of it because of that inferred shape that our brain does. We think of it as a square, or it would be a rectangle, even though it doesn't have the points, even though it's rounded. It's a rounded edge corner square. So let's go on. Does anybody, let me go back to the, so far, does anybody have, it should have been in your email, Sue. And like I showed, you can get it off the files in the Facebook group too. Oh, the dot picot. Yes, there's a video on it too. There's a dot, actually there's two. Ursa has one, and maybe I didn't show it. I think it should have been on that page that I showed. But Ursa has one, and I know Newbear has done it, and she shows doing one on a ring, which you've got a ring to begin with, then you're making the ring. So it looked to me like I'd have to go through the video really slowly to get which piece I'm pulling where, because you got to close up the dot picot ring, and then you got to close up the pick ring, and so you've got all those loops there. It's like a 1DS thrown off ring. It is. Oh, is that a ring off? Well, it's a ring off a chain of 1DS, yes. Yeah, it could be an Elgive, but the rare one, which I have, and I haven't had time to look through it. I will look through. I've got 3 of Elgiva Nichols' books. I've got the Orange Techniques in History. I've got the green one, cover one, which is not the same as the Orange Techniques in History. But I also have her original one. Um, I've shown it before. Actually, I think I have it right here with me. And she probably does have it in there. She was so creative and so inventive. Let me go down to my down camera a minute. This is her just plain tatting book that I have a copy of, luckily. You can see it's got a tear in it too. But she just has, I think this is the book that's got what I referred to as the, maybe not. Let me quick thumb through it just a moment. She's got so much in here, and I have never really gone through and read through this. I mean, when you just look at the way she's used her Picots, it's just amazing. This book, if you ever see it, get it. I bought it from a library. This is another Picot we're going to look at today too. If you can see this. Can you see how her ends of that Picot are frayed? Picots have been cut and just the ends of them frayed. You can fray out the whole thing. I'm sure there's that some, oh, she might have that. Oh, this is the one I was talking about. She's got a cord in the center with the chains coming up it. I want to do something like that in my picture. Yeah, I think these are frayed too. These big long ones have been cut and frayed. But you can see this with just the loops left. So anyway, I'll check that too and do some more reading. And in tonight's diagram class, like I said, we'll be making the arrows that you're going to use. We'll also be making the symbol for a frayed Picot and a twisted Picot. Copies have gone for $1,000. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Oh, to Bold Go, yes, I haven't checked into that too. I just began researching the dot. Well, I haven't even really researched it. I just saw what was online and read how to, or watched how to do it. But I haven't even tried it myself or worked with it. So, all right, let's go back to the next one. That's not the one I want either. I hope I didn't close it along the way. This is it. Here we go. Now, another Picot that is really interesting is Nanetta's. Oh, you should have popped up right here. I skipped hers, didn't I, before? Yes, I want to continue. There we go. This is another really interesting Picot. Look at it there. It's thick. It would be a nice Picot on some of those thicker chains. combine some dot picots around it, or one, I should say, I've thrown off one double stitch ring. And she tells you how to do it, and I believe this is a video of how to do it. And I do think New Bear's also got one. So this is another possibility. And when you're, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to go right back to the beginning. Oh, well. The Venetian Picot, I wanted to look at how she had her, we call them nuts. See, I always see something. Muscan and Nanetta sites are just full of things that are just crazy. And she always gives a lot of background, designer background about how she, you know, thought of the ideas or where she researched them. Oh, a very small picot and a treble tatting stitch. Her treble tatting stitch, I think, is a wonderful stitch and fun looking stitch to use. So anyway, there's another video you can watch. Now, Tammy, there's also on the online tatting classes YouTube channel, there is a video that Tammy shows how to do the double and triple picot. And like I said, I think she's going to address some techniques on picots in upcoming sometime. I'm not exactly sure when. Woven picots, that's another one that Martha has done a lot with, but right now, oops, I put this down again, didn't I? Oh, I want to look at that later. There we go. No, this isn't Moose Cans. This is Carolyn's tatting blog. This is a very organic woven picot because the picots are so long and they kind of look, I guess the only thing to say is messy, but it's a very organic look, which can be wonderful in designs. If you want something more even looking, shorter picots, fewer picots, but all crossed. And this one, she said she found because of Muscan tips on weaving picots. I want to go there too. But notice down here, she's got a picture of where she's of when she found this, but she said she tried to locate the person who designed it. Her name was Marie Stoffer. Sue, maybe you'd have an idea too, or Teresa, an old website, but she couldn't find it. So here's a better picture too. You can see where they're woven across each other. So today we're looking at the ideas for what we can do. Now here, just your regular picot. I know we've seen rosettes and all kinds of things that have the layered look picots. And these, the each round has just one or two, it looks like, more double stitches than the round below. So the top of the double stitch in one round and the bottom of the double stitch in the next round are almost next to each other, which creates this overlapping or layered effect, I should say, of the picots on top of the chains. Now this is where we get visual texture. You're going to need to be careful. Something like this looks really nice, especially if the next round has big, larger spaces in it. It's a nice contrast. If you went to something really thick in the next round or dense, a lot of stitches, that could be just a different look. But you'd want to be careful because the rest of your doily or your design, you'd have to really think about the balance and the balance of density and have something that wouldn't necessarily have to be the same but something that would balance it out a bit. In a way, this does because the shape of this whole thing balances the shape of one of these sections. Does that make sense? It's an asymmetrical balance. They do have to be worked from the back. Okay, so I'm not, that is reached, she taught at Palmettos. Okay. Hi, Thuya. The trebled tatting stitch reminds me of the knitted picot edge you put on socks. Yes, it reminds me of, I've done a thicker edge on crochet by doing the stitches backwards. It's an edging technique in crochet. Okay, I'll have to look more into that. I've got to do more research, but it takes so much time. And then I figure somebody in class will know how to mention it. The woven picots was reeds. Okay. Oh, and that's what, not that one, but, oh, I know. What did I say I wanted to do? I was on the last one. Well, if I don't have something, I reverse stitch and crochet. Yep. All right. Is this creating any? Are you coming up with any ideas for your own whatever you're designing? Doesn't have to be the doily. Um, just something to put in an original design that you're going to work on. Gonna. I should just stock proper English. Going to. I don't even know. That might be a Midwestern thing. I'm from West Michigan, the Midwest, so some of the things I say are colloquial language. Anyway, where did I just put that again? Let's go on to the next one because today we're getting ideas. We're looking at what picots can do. Well, you want to take a break from that a minute? I happened to see this on Pinterest. I don't know if it's her regular design. I have gone to her website, but look at the way the different things that are in here, and yet they all work together. Now, part of that is typical tatting because you've got your rings, large ones here. Oh, those are actually chains that I believe, not rings, from the way they're hooked down there. But it could be connected rings. And Then you've got the smaller ones here. And notice the space this creates, the openness, compared to how dense, much more dense and visual texture these leaves give you. And yet, this one is spacier, but it's a bigger size than this one. So when you look at the two of them, they don't feel out of balance. Besides the fact that we are used to seeing things that look like flowers with smaller leaves beside them, that also works into when you're designing things and whether they work well together or look well. And then the little onion rings. The onion rings work, and I think it's because overall you're looking at the circular shape, which also the same size. If you look at this um, edge of the, I'm going to call them daisy petals, they're the same size. And then you've got the nice contrast, they're the same size, but you've got the denseness of this contrasting with the openness of that. So these are the things that you think about in your own. Um, do a row that's got, alternating different things in there. Um, Now this doesn't have any chains. Think about if you chained up around here and down, the border that would give you if this was a doily. It could even, this in itself, because look at inside here, these little small daisies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're working, this is the same as what we're working on, those of us who are doing the doily. It's a hexagon shape. And because of the way these are all the same height, this round one and this round one, you get a circular look on this one. Now, if instead of having these up here, they'd gone from here and connected over to here with a chain that was maybe even balanced double stitches to go straighter, you're going to end up with your hexagon shape again. So think about your shapes. Think about, like I'm going to do mine, this side coming out of some small rows back here, or continuation of the round. Put all these, Tatting is all associations. All these different things, you associate them together. And you think about, well, maybe if I did it asymmetrical, how could I do that? Or if I want it more organic look instead of real structured. And everybody has different personal preferences. So there are tatters out there who are looking for these that are a little different. Now I'm going to go to this last one. I know, this is the chains. And this is actually in the patterns. I'll show you where to find it because it is under the florals. There are flowers and florals. This is going to be Jennifer Williams, Josephine Chain Flower. And if you click on that, that's actually what's on the list down here. Look at what she's done with her chains. And I do believe I have this in a, let me get my other little list up here again. I gotta go someplace else and get my file explorer up. I need to go to my desktop for this one. It's not the right one. Maybe I closed the right one. I'm going to close this down now because we don't need that any longer. Too many inside. Whose is which? The last one? Oh, let me pull it up again. What did I do with my list? One of these days I'll get a good system for all these. Okay, this is what I'm looking for right here. I thought that was a JPEG, but that's the other thing again. Got a couple more to show there. Well, anyway, look at how thick this is and how wonderful. It's called a spiral knot stitch chain. And she does have the, shows how to do it down here. And this is interesting too, to see how she has diagrammed it. I think that makes a lot of sense for a diagram. I don't know, Teresa Woods or Sue, have you seen that before in other patterns? But that looks really interesting. The chunky things, some people don't like picots at all. Are you one of those, Sue H? Am I remembering the right person? But you can do so many other things, so many other things. And the reason this chunky works on the outside, I believe, is because it's got the balance of the gold in the middle. Almost looks like something is a metal. Let's see what she's saying, or just beads. 9 beads. The beads and the color contrast really balance out the thickness of the outside edge. Oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock already. What else did I want to look at? There's just, let me see, a couple more, I think. No, we've looked at both of those, so maybe that was it. And Sue, I will, let's see. Yep, that's what I thought. You like ball tatting. Anyway, start making, and think about it. Tammy wants you to make samples too. Oh, I know one other thing I want to show you. It's the start of a project, and I'll be darned if I remember whose it is. Let's see if I can find it here. Let's see, it's not that. It's not that. I don't need the flowers and foliage. I don't know how I got so many spiral ones here. But I don't. Let's see. I guess maybe I'll show that next week, since I don't know where I put it. So that's it for today. What's this? Oh, here it is. It's right here on my desktop. This is the beginning of a project. And if you're here today and this is yours, I can't remember. No, it's in here, in here somewhere. With something that I was sent, with homework that was sent, and my brain today is just And I even, uh, yeah, let me see. Well, I do not see it. Maybe I put it in my homework file. Nope. I've got to get better. So, anyway, here I am mumbling to myself. But look at this. And let me get this closer up. Look at this sample ring she made that she's using with beads in it. Here she's got a sample. I believe this is one of her rows. But look at the little chain sample and the ring sample she's made. All of this is going with her designing. And she's made samples of each first. So she's going to know how they fit and where they fit. And I've got more of the next couple steps too that we can look at next week. But this is the thing, get your chain samples. Um, when you're finished with this project, have an index card they can go on, or get an index card out. The best would be to have an index card out already for them. And on the back, do notes as you go about maybe problems you've run into, why it's working, why it's not working. The other thing I wanted to mention today is the chains is how flexible is this? Now, this one's got beads on both sides of it. It's not going to be as, the rounding's not going to be the same as one that has beads like maybe only on the outside or only on the inside. You could do something else on the outside. So think about all of these things and think about this wouldn't be good in an area where you really need to um, have it loose and floppy. A Josephine chain would be better for that. So that's the day from me. So I hope you have a good week or a good afternoon if you're coming into the diagram class tonight. I look forward to seeing you then, or I look forward to seeing you next week. Happy designing, and I hope you've enjoyed and learned some today.